Right, so hello and welcome back to Books and Things, and today I'm going to be doing my 5-star TBR predictions. This is a video thing that has been started by Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and I've seen a lot of people doing this lately, picking out some books from their TBR, from their to-be-read shelf that they think will end up being 5-star reads for them, and it seemed like a fun idea, so I thought I would do that as well. Before I begin, I should say that I am like super generous with 5 stars. So I rate everything on Goodreads, but I very rarely say what my Goodreads rating was on my channel, partly because I know that my rating system is all quite high. So I just had a look on Goodreads, and out of 78 books I've read so far this year, I've given 27 5 stars. So like a third of the books I've read this year have been 5 stars. And obviously there is a lot of difference between that, and I could probably go back and downrate quite a lot of them when I end up doing my favourite books of 2017 video. Not all of those 27 books are going to be on there, but in general, if I will say that I love a book, then I will give it 5 stars, but I love a lot of books, so yes. But anyway, I have 5 books that I'm going to talk to you about today that I really think, or at least really hope, that I will love a lot. The first book I want to talk about is one that I don't have on my physical TBR, though it is on my Kindle and definitely on my to-be-read list, and one that I'll be reading very soon, and that is The Last Chronicle of Barsetshire by Anthony Trollope. This is the final book in the series of 6 that are interconnected novels, I suppose, more than a series, set in the fictional county of Barsetshire, written by Anthony Trollope, who is one of my favourite authors, and I have loved this series so much, and there have been so many incredible books in it. Out of this series, the first book, The Warden, was probably a 4-star, and every other book, all the other 4, have been 5 stars, and A Small House at Allington is by far the best book I have read this year that wasn't a reread, and one of the best books I've ever read, and like definitely, I think it might be in like my top 10 books ever. It was so amazing, and I thought like Barchester Towers, which is the second book in the series, was so amazing. I thought it couldn't get any better than that. And then The Small House at Allington was just absolutely incredible, so moving, so wonderful. And I have no doubt that The Last Chronicle of Barsetshire will end up being a 5-star read for me, because I have loved the rest of the series so much, and I'm so invested in all of the characters, many of which I know crop up in The Last Chronicle of Barsetshire, that I don't think I can fail to love it, just because I'm so like emotionally invested in this world now that it would have to be a massive letdown for it to get less than 5 stars, because I love everything about that series so much, and I have such faith in Anthony Trollope's writing. Like, he's so good. I've never read a book by him that I didn't like. I've read a couple of books that I found a bit slower and a bit less exciting, but I've never read a book by him that I thought was bad. He's utterly incredible. I have such faith in his writing style and his talent for characters and his like sense of poignancy, and the rest of the series is so good, and I've heard so many brilliant things about the last book in the series that I just think there's absolutely no way that I can fail to love that one. So I've been buddy reading the rest of the Barsetshire Chronicles with Caroline from BBC Girl 520, and hopefully we will be reading The Last Chronicle of Barsetshire in October for Victober this year, so I'm really excited for that one. And next I have The Crimson Petal and the White by Michelle Faber, which I really hope will be a 5-star. I think it probably will be, but I also have like some slight reservations. I have been told by many people, including Olivia Pope and Jen Campbell, both of whose opinions I very much trust, that I will love this. But I've also been told by a couple of people that I might not love everything about it, and I am aware that when reading historical fiction, especially historical fiction set in the Victorian period, I sometimes do look for holes, and it's sometimes not quite Victorian enough for me, and I know I found that with The Essex Serpent, that I was expecting to be a 5-star read for me and was more like a 4-star read. But hopefully I will love this, and I hear such good things. As far as I know, it is about a prostitute in the Victorian period who is writing a novel and various other things, which sounds wonderful, and I hear such great things about his writing, so I'm hoping I will like this a lot, but we shall have to see. Hopefully I will get to this pretty soon. Hopefully in November is my plan. So because October is Victorian October, I'm thinking potentially of doing unofficially a Victorian inspired November where I try to get through all of the historical fiction set in the Victorian period that is sitting on my shelf, because I have a lot, or kind of retellings and adaptations of Victorian novels that I have on my shelf, or books inspired by Victorian novels, or history books about the Victorian period, because I have so many like Victorian related things that aren't actually Victorian literature that might be nice to read in the month of November, so hopefully I will get to this soon. The next 5-star prediction is A Place Called Winter by Patrick Gale, which has been on my shelf for a while. I borrowed this from my mum quite a while ago, and goodness knows when she will actually get it back. I think I will really love this, and I just need to make it a priority. I've heard many brilliant things about this, especially from Holly Dunn from Holly Dunn Design. I'll link her channel down below, and she raved about this a lot. I believe it is the story of a gay man living in England and later Canada in the first few decades of the 20th century, which sounds wonderful and historically fascinating, and something I will definitely be interested in. I also hear it's absolutely beautifully written and really, really good. So I don't know why I haven't actually picked this up, because it's not very long and the writing is quite big, so I don't think this will take me very long, and I should really try and get to this very soon. The fourth 5-star prediction on my list is Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. This is a proof copy which Corsair very kindly sent to me, and this is coming out in the UK in October. I love Jennifer Egan. I have read A Visit from the Goon Squad and Emerald City, both of which are two of like the best books I've ever read. Emerald City is hands down my favourite short story collection. A Visit from the Goon Squad is marketed as a novel, but I would kind of argue that it's sort of a short story collection or a collection of interconnected short stories, and I haven't ever read like a standard kind of novel by her, so I'm really excited for Manhattan Beach. She does have a lot of other published novels that I just haven't got round to reading yet, but I love her work so much, and I think she's such a fantastic writer, and I trust her to do like character so brilliantly that like I'm so excited for this. I don't even know what it's about. I am so excited for this. So I have just read the blurb, which I hadn't actually done. I really should like read blurbs before I request review copies. But anyway, I am now like extra excited, because not only is this a book by Jennifer Egan, but it is also a historical fiction novel by Jennifer Egan, which is set in Brooklyn during the Great Depression, which just sounds utterly incredible. I'm so excited. Like, I wish I wasn't reading 3 books currently, because I really want to start this afternoon, but I feel like that is not a good idea, because I'm also reading a George Eliot book and it's going to take me ages, but Jennifer Egan. Dilemmas. And finally, my final 5-star prediction, which is probably the most hesitant of my 5-star predictions, is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have never actually read any Daphne du Maurier, and a lot of people have told me I would love her, but also a lot of people have told me that I wouldn't love her, and my only experience with Daphne du Maurier is seeing the TV adaptation of Jamaica Inn, which I didn't love. Like, it was fine, but I didn't really find it especially interesting. And the story came across as a bit over-romanticised, but obviously I can't judge Daphne du Maurier on a TV adaptation of her books, especially because also that TV adaptation, like, the production quality was a bit dodgy and the sound was really bad and you couldn't like hear what anyone was saying. So it's not really fair to judge the story of Jamaica Inn on that TV adaptation. It's definitely not fair to judge du Maurier on that. But I've heard a lot about her, and I think I will either absolutely love her or really not like her, and I think it could definitely go either way. So I'm hoping to love Rebecca very, very much. I bought this on the last Booktuber meetup which I went to, and Lauren from Lauren the Books persuaded me very vehemently to buy this and said that I would love it, so I hope I will. And it has a quote from Sarah Waters, and I do like Sarah Waters, so I have mixed expectations, mostly good, but with a few reservations. I think it's one of those books where it'll probably be either like a 5-star or like a 2-star for me, and I don't think there'll be much space in between, but we will see how I enjoy it. So those are my 5-star predictions from my TBR pile. I'm sure there will end up being many more 5-star books that are on my shelves or on my Kindle that I haven't mentioned today, but I think those 5 will hopefully be really, really good, and hopefully I'll manage to read all of them before the end of the year, and we will see whether they turn up on my end of year favourites video, which I feel is probably a better judge of like my favourite books in a year than actually what I give 5 stars to, because as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm quite generous with my 5 stars. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you would especially recommend any of these books to me, apart from I suppose Manhattan Beach, because that's not out yet, although it might be out in the US, so if you are in the US and you have read it and you liked it, let me know. I'll be back very soon with another bookish video, and in the meantime, happy reading.